As always on this channel, we take a look at gear and decide if it's actually worth buying. And today, something slightly different from cameras and lenses. The Zhiyun Fiveray M20C, which is a compact 20-watt RGB pocket light. It's small, portable, full RGB and aimed at creators who want flexible lighting without carrying large panels. But is a 20-watt light enough? And is it actually practical in real-world use? Let's find out. So for clarity, Zhiyun have sent me this light to review, but this isn't a paid video and they have no input on what I will say, and I will review it honestly. So okay, what is this light like? Well, it is a small fill light which would be good for YouTubers and creators who need something small. It can be controlled by the app and also on the back of the camera. The version I'm reviewing is the combo version, so let's see what that comes with before we get onto the review and how it works. The box comes reasonably packaged and comes with the usual documentation and how to get started. The light itself comes pre-packaged up with the cage that it comes with the different diffusers as well already attached. Having a closer look at this, it has barn doors for angling the light, a honeycomb diffuser as well as a softbox diffuser. It also comes with a USB-C cable and a carry case. The cage that it comes with is made out of plastic and can be used for mounting and things like that, which can be separated from the light if you just want the light standalone, but it's harder to mount and you can't use the filters without it in the cage. Okay, so that's what you're getting in the box, and the price of this light comes in with this setup for $159, which did surprise me a little bit. As for the size, I thought it might be a little cheaper. But size isn't everything, and the performance is what matters the most. Okay, so to get that performance out of it, let's have a little closer look at how it works. So as mentioned, it comes with all three filters attached, the foldable barn door for directing light, a honeycomb filter, all which help soften and make the light a little bit more controllable from this light. Now these are all magnetic, which makes it very easy to swap between them, though you do have to make sure they're the right way around. They sometimes don't fully magnet on. And you can use them in any order, and you don't have to use any at all if you don't want to. Looking at them one at a time, you can see the difference that they make adding one at a time. And I'm glad it came with these filters because the light is very bright even at its dimmest. I don't know why they didn't just make it so it could go a bit dimmer, but there we go. It doesn't come with a tripod out of the box, but mounts to any normal size tripod and also has a magnet on it for quickly mounting to surfaces, which is fairly useful. The magnetic bracket and the enclosure can be fully removed if you want the light to be as small as possible. But bear in mind, you can't attach any of the filters with the bracket removed. The magnets on the filter only attach to the bracket. The bracket also has a cold shoe mount to attach to your camera, as well as having other cold shoe mounts on it itself if you wanted to add extra attachments. And the light is easy enough to operate from either the back of the light or the app. Strangely, the app is called the ZY Vega app, not sure why, but it connects to a phone easily enough. On the back of the light there is a small screen flanked by two controllable clickable controllers which you use to adjust the light if you are adjusting on the light. The power is on the left hand side and you use this to switch between modes and menu items, and the controller on the right is mainly for adjusting. I mainly review cameras and lenses on this channel, so if you're interested in this type of review that is of more accessories, let me know in the comments. And if you're enjoying this video, a like and a sub helps me out a lot. So let's look at the different lighting modes that you can get. And your first option is CCT, which is your adjustable white light, going from yellow toned warm light to crisp blue toned cool white. Now here I have the light on CCT mode on the absolute dimmest 1% brightness, so you can see it's still very bright. If I bump that up, you can see that it gets insanely bright. So yeah, that's with both filters on, so be very careful of your eyes when using this. It is very, very bright. I'm going to turn it way back down to 1% and you can see that it is still quite bright. We'll now go through the CCT range, going from nice yellow light all the way through to a cool white light. So you can see the difference there. And it is a very useful light in this situation to accompany this kind of shot. If I put it over at this side, you can see that I get that extra nice bit of fill, helping flesh out the studio lights that I'm already using. I'll go through some of the other modes now, as well as showing you how to adjust them. Next, we're going to look at the HSI and RGB modes, which gives you full color control either through the color wheel on the app or RGB sliders or the usual controls on the back of the screen. And here you can see here, I've got quite a green light here. Again, I'll just turn that down to the lowest brightness because it is very bright, but I can circle through the hue quite quickly and you can see the full range of colors that you can get from this. So going through to blue and purple. The full range of colours, all very easy to control in the app, but still adjustable on the camera, and you can also change the saturation of that colour. Now, of course, this is coming through incredibly bright from this angle, so I will push it off to the side so you can see how I could use that as more of a complementary light. A nice bit of purple hazing on the side. Maybe not for this type of shot, but you can see that's with it on about 25% brightness. Now, for a bit of fun, there are also light effects, such as police strobe lighting and other fun effects. So this is the police strobe, which you can see is quite intense, and that is still on quite a low brightness. And we'll swap that also to, let's see, some other options that we have here. If you just wanted one that may be slightly more useful is a hue loop, which kind of loops through a few different colours. So if you just wanted an evolving light in the background of your shot, that could be quite useful. I mean, I think most of these are a little bit of a gimmick, but they're quite fun. There was some that I won't put on, like strobe lighting, because for obvious reasons, you might not want to see a strobe light in the middle of your YouTube video. Using the app is easier to control and does give you a few more options like that colour pairing, but it's ultimately mostly the same options and menu choices. Sometimes I do find it a little easier to just control from the light itself. A bonus of the app is that you can group the lights and control multiple at once. I can't show you this as I only have one light, so I can't tell you exactly how well that works. One thing I will say is also the app does require a few different permissions for access to your phone, so read carefully before you install. The battery power is listed on this light at 40 minutes runtime for the full brightness 20 watt power. But I have found it didn't last quite that long at full power, maybe around 30 minutes. Though to be fair, it really is bright, so you likely won't need to use it at full brightness anyway. Also, using this light at full brightness for around 5 minutes, the internal fan will likely start up. A cool feature, but isn't silent. It's not that loud, but may be noticeable, especially if you are mounting the light to the top of your camera and using the camera's internal microphones. And a full recharge of the battery takes about 2 hours using the USB-C cable. Overall, the M20C is a useful little light with a lot of power and flexibility, all in a small size. And that is its main selling point. Yes, it is $159, which isn't cheap, but it gets you solid, in fact very bright, for its size, and you get good colour accuracy, a wide colour temperature range, and full RGB control, and that app connectivity. It has the ability to run while charging, which does help with that short battery life. So if you do need a flexible RGB light that fits in your bag and doesn't take up much space, this is a good practical option.